Okay, let's see what we have. Okay. Okay, welcome to today's class, right? And today we will just focus on the project, which I will we'll get into right now. I think the light's a bit off here. Okay, so let's go into the project. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me show this. Okay. Now we are going to present. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Share the screen and see what I can get here. Okay. Okay, so okay. So the first thing when it comes to any project, right, you need to ask the right question. You need to understand what are the objective of that project. So the first thing you will request for is your brief, the business brief, what the project is about, and how you're going to go over that particular project. Okay, so the objective of this project right here, the purpose of this analysis is to evaluate the performance and cost efficiency of facility management practices across this multiple client location in Nigeria, aiming to uncover key insights for optimization and cost saving opportunities by assessing performance score, more monthly costs, facility types, and implementing optimization and the implemented optimization processes. So your aim is to identify the patterns that drive effective cost reduction and improve operational efficiency across all these locations. Right, so this is your key aim, right? This is your objective, and this right here is your aim. So anything you're going to do when it comes to this project will be to achieve this aim and to understand this objective. So the scope of this project is from the objective, we're able to get the scope, which is focused on the client coverage, the performance metrics, and the optimization evaluation. So here are some key questions we might ask ourselves, which are the cost analysis, the performance and cost correlation. Is there a correlation between performance and cost, right? And the optimization impact, how the optimization process impacts the cost and the employee efficiency. So with that, we will go over to our data, and I will be adding the data after this recording. If we are not done, I'll just add the data after this recording. So this is our data, right? So the first thing we do when we come to this, we need to have a look at the data. So what I will do, I will simply just open this up first with an Excel. This is CSV file. Okay, just go over the data. What I want to confirm first is if it can be loaded with Excel, because that's one of the first thing you have to confirm. And the data only has 20,000 rows. And let's go up. And 8 columns. Okay, so this can be loaded up with Excel. So what I'm going to do next, I will just open a new, because when you are doing your analysis, you don't ever want to work directly with the initial data. Especially when you import, you don't ever want to work directly with that data. You want to use a copy. So I'm going to create a new workbook where I will import that data into it. So I'll click on data, go all the way to get data from a file, and you're going to work with the CSV slash text file. I can just close this up. Since I'm not working directly with this, I can simply just close this up. So my data is in right here. So this is my data. Click on imports. I'll give this a little bit of time for it to just load right up. Cannot close Excel because okay, perfect. So let's give this some time. Okay, so I'm loading it up with Power Query. So now I have my data. So I'm just going to check for any data quality issues. Click on transform data. Now it's going to be loaded up in what we call Power Query. So this is Power Query, right? This environment right here is called the Power Query. So the first thing we are going to do, we will just clean this data. So the first one is we have our client. Okay, everything is good here. We have our headers, good. I think this data is pretty much cleaned, right? But you might still just need to work on this. So you go over to your view, you click on, if you don't see this data quality, just click on data quality and you have this right here. So what this shows you is if your data is valid, if there's error in your data, and if there's any empty row. This is a quicker way to do your data quality dimension and to actually fix your data faster. So from here, I can see there is no error within any of my data, which is good. Okay. Now let's see if there's duplicates. Now go to data column profile to look for duplicates. That's what we are looking for. Let's see. I think there's duplicate. There's 3 duplicates here. This one said duplicate, duplicates, duplicates, duplicates. Okay. So there is duplicates with this ID, which not ought to be so. It's client ID. You cannot have duplicate client ID. There's duplicate with this, this, and all of this. So we have to work on those. Total count of data. I think I have the total count is 1,000 rows. Okay, I think that should be it. Currently see. Now let's go and remove the duplicates. So first I want to look at, let's say this first one is 615. So I'm just going to type that in 6150. Deselect everything else and select just this. Click on OK. Let's see. So I'm having some dates, some client ID that are duplicates, but if you take a look at the individual rows, you will see that they are all different. So in this scenario, there is mistake in the client ID entry. There's a mistake here, not with the data itself. So for this case, I cannot delete my data. I cannot just simply delete my data. So I'm just going to screenshot this just to show when I'm doing my reports that I saw this duplicate, but they were not actual duplicates. So just going to screenshot and okay. So this is my screenshot gallery. So the next thing I'm going to do back here and select everything back up. Select everything and okay. Now back to my data quality. Okay, click on this, open data quality. Let's see if this is also the same case. Just pick some at random. You can do it one by one, but I'm just going to pick some at random, see if it's actually the same case. Equal, not equal, okay. Sorry about that. Let's go back. Okay, okay. So we have one, let's see, 1, 4, 6, 3, 2. Now let's work with this, see what we have. I just click on this alone, remove this, okay. So same thing here. I'm having duplicate here, but the actual values are very much different. So I know for a fact that this is indicative of what is going on in every other column as well. So I'm just going to go back and see if I can select everything back up. Okay, okay. So I have my total data back up. So this is what I'm going to do. Since the problem is with the client ID, I'm just going to create a new column that is representing each unique rows and each unique column. So go to add column, then under add column, we go to index column. Then we're going to start from 1. And okay, so this will have all the rows that I need. So let me just check for, okay, there are 1000 rows, which is correct. So that's good. So I'm just going to rename this as the client, double tap on that to rename this as the client ID underscore ID. Now I can, okay. So what I will do, I will simply just remove this, or let me just rename this to, okay, no need. Since I already have the original data set, I can just remove this and call this, sorry, call this the client ID. Okay. Then I like my IDs to be not numbers, right? As you can see right here, you can see the data type is number. I like it to be text, so I can make this text. Okay, so that's good. So another thing I like to do when it comes to text, when I have massive text column like this, is to do a clean or a trim of that column. So I'm going to go to transform, and you can either use trim or clean. I prefer to use trim. Okay, that's good. Go over to the next one. Trim. Down to the next one. Trim. Okay, for the states, I can also confirm if my states are actually complete. I think this should be about 26 states. I think that's pretty much complete. Or I can simply just do this instead. Click on the states. If I have 1636, perfect. So this is good. So some of you might ask me the reason why I made this unique, because this is my ID, and by default, or by principle of primary key, your ID should be unique for each separate ID unique. I think that's pretty much everything. Okay, I have my monthly costs, 4 months. Okay, this is good. So I'm just going to load my data back into my Excel workbook. So click on load. My data is pretty much clean at this point in time. Okay, so this is my data set. Now I'm going to go back to, let me just close this, back to my objective. Let's see. So the first target was to, so our goal was to, the aim is to identify patterns that drive effective cost reduction and improve operational efficiency. Okay, that's good. Okay, so the way we're going to get is by accessing the performance score, monthly costs, facility types, and implemented optimization strategy. So from this aim, you can see that one of the key things we are looking at is the cost, right? Cost reduction, if cost went up, cost was saved, and so on and so forth, right? So we are going to do a quick cost analysis and see what is the cost for by facility type. We're going to check the cost by facility type, the cost by state, right? The cost by optimization process. Then we're also going to do a quick analysis on the performance score. I think the performance score is pretty much the same. Let me just go over here. So let's do the cost analysis first. Then we'll do the one for, go back to my objective. We work on the cost analysis. Then we're going to work on the performance. We're going to work on the facility types and so on and so forth. So let's work on the cost analysis first. So quick analysis on the cost by facility type. So go to insert pivot table. This will allow us to summarize our data faster. So pivot table, click on this. I'm dragging my pivots. Okay. Okay, perfect. That's good. Bring this over here. Put the facility type under here. Then what am I looking at? I'm mostly looking at the costs. The cost, right? So I'll work with the monthly cost. So this is sum. You can work with sum, but I think working with average will be better because this is a cumulative of all the total monthly cost for the data centers for each of the facility, and average will be give us almost the same correlation because we can get the average cost for each of these data centers. Just going to go here and let's see, change this to average and click on OK. And for this, I will make this home and can just make this, let's make this dollar. Go to accounting and make this dollar. Okay, this is good since we are working with costs. Okay, let's do a quick analysis on this. Let's see what we can uncover from this. So the cost is pretty much the same across the board, right? Okay, let's call this cost by facilities. Now go back here and go to insert pivot table. And we can also work with the performance score. Okay. So for the performance, if we are to work with the performance score directly, there is a lot of values, if I'm not mistaken. So let me just go and show you what I mean. There's a lot of values with my performance score. I think there's up to 200 of them or so. So what I need to do is to categorize my performance score. I have to work on that so I can categorize my performance score. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to my, okay, this, go back here, right click and go back to edit. So what I want to do, I want to categorize my performance score. Now go to performance. Let's see. The minimum is 60. The maximum is 99.96, almost 100. So this performance score ranges from 0 to 100. Okay. And in this particular data set, 60 is the lowest value. So if I want to rank this, I can use so I can go on Google or somewhere and just check the average industry standard for ranking performance score for rating performance score for I think this is a facility, I think it's a tech facility if I'm not mistaken, or a production facility. But in this case, I've already done a little bit of research on this. So what I'm going to do will just be to rank it in three categories. I'm going to start with good or poor, very good, and excellent. Okay. Now click on this. So this is what I'm going to do. Go to my add column. Now go to conditional column. Now I'm going to click on this performance rating. And then I'm going to say if the performance rating is less than I'm going to say if the performance is lesser than, sorry, it's supposed to be lesser than or equals to 60, it's going to be, since 60 is the lowest one, it's less than or equals to 70, it is going to be under performing, underperforming. Okay. Let's see if I can work with this over here.